New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm glad Doug said that. Man, I've had a time of it since like right before Christmas. I ended up getting sick. So if my voice sounds a little funky, or if I mute the call, that means I probably had to cough or something like that. So anyway, all good. We're getting it ready and we'll begin in just a second. So yeah, Happy New Year, Florian. Hey, Donald. So yeah, I know. I mean, God, my audio is definitely better. Hey, you guys. Yeah, so let me tell you a little bit about this skiing thing. I'm only an intermediate skier, blues at best, right? I'm man, I'd saved up last year. Really wanted to do like a Colorado ski trip with the kids to give them that experience, and I'd use frequent flyer miles because look, when you got 4 kids, I bet you can relate. Tickets are expensive, especially that time of year. Man, I had this thing all mapped out. I'm an hour and a half in on the first. I'm an hour and a half in on the first day, and can anybody guess what happened? Hour and a half on day one of a 4-day trip. Let's see. Let's see if you guys can guess. Yep. Nope. Who's first? Not a sprained ankle. I guess it's a wipeout of a sort. I had a snowboarder hit me. So yeah, Scott Hall, pretty good guess. Yeah, Pat Littleton wins the prize. Vanessa, come up with the prize for Pat because yeah, guys, this guy hit me, and look, I'm not little, right? I take a roll, like a tumble. I'm getting off the lift. He comes right in and hits me. I take a tumble. My knees go up. I'm doing like a caterpillar somersault, and my legs land kind of funky. Both my knees, they're not like ACL tear, I don't think, but they're pretty bruised up. So I couldn't ski. I could barely walk. I couldn't ski the rest of the week. I did go snowmobiling one day, which was a lot of fun. But most of the time, I sat around in the hot tub or waited and had lunch with the kids and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, Florian said, "You mean Brian? You hit the snowboarder?" I'm like, "Well, I'm getting off the lift. I think I got the right of way, man. I'm barely moving. Some guy plows just. I'm barely, right off the lift. The guy just plows right into me, and I just take a tumble. So, oh, thank you, Steve. Is that better? Thank you. Yeah. Anyway, they offered to get me down the hill with ski patrol on one of those sleds, and I'm like, no, I'm getting down myself. So I had to ski down a green and 2 blues, and I'm really not that good. A green and 2 blues on damaged knees, and for the rest of the trip, I just hung out, après ski, I guess, so to speak. Yeah, I was in the bathrobe. My wife took a picture. I don't know what she was thinking. I'm wearing a bathing suit, but it's like 22 degrees out, and there's really nice hot tubs outside, and I'm basically in the hot tub the whole time. So man, it was painful, you guys. So, oh, very cool. David said he's a 20-year ski patroller. Awesome, David. But I did make the best of it. The guy that was doing lessons with my kids told me about this snowmobile place. Anybody from Colorado? It's where the United States Army 10th Mountain Division used to train. It's called Camp Hale, Hale, and it's a big. I think it's a federal park now. But we went snowmobiling all up in this area, and I'll be honest, I forced myself to get out of my comfort zone. I'm a big wuss. I'm a little bit scared of some heights. I'm going up in a snowmobile, which I'd never done before, like 13,000 feet peaks. And I'm looking over the edge. I'm like, oh my God, please, God, please, please, please. I'm like, I was praying snowmobiling, let alone skiing. Skiing would have been way safer for me. So, Rob H., there was not. That is definitely a shortcoming. All right, you guys. Well, let me shut up, and we'll get this show on the road. I'm going to have to turn the webcam off. Hey, you want to know? Honey? Tea with honey. My earlier tea with honey. Together with this tea with honey, going to get through this thing. Yeah, I have some whiskey, but I'm going to go to a basketball game tonight with one of my clients, a friend client. And I I don't want to drink and then drive, etc. So yeah, I guess bourbon would be a good idea. Hang on, actually, you guys have motivated me. Hang on one sec. I've never done that on a call.
Oh, what have you encouraged him to do? I know what's in the direction of your office, Brian.
Somebody got me a Woodford Reserve. That could help. I'm going to open that in a minute. And all right. Yeah, I've been hitting the I don't usually do the webinar drinking, but I've been hitting the emergency and all that jazz. All right, let's do this thing. You guys, it won't take a long time. So hang on. All right. It's 2020. That usually means everybody's coming at you with their latest how to fix the year. And with my injury and stuff, I had a lot of downtime. I realized a few things. It's hard sometimes stepping back to the point that you kind of get what's going on and you understand what you might need to do. So let's see. This is Vanessa's handiwork, I think. Let's talk through how to add paying clients immediately. And I am going to share something I'm going to do in 2020 at the end. You don't have to participate in any way. You'll still get a lot of value. So for anybody that might be asking themselves, because what I'm going to share with you is really, and a lot of you will realize this is true as we go through it, especially like David Perkins and guys that have been around a while. You're going to understand what I'm saying and why it's true as we get going. So, all right. I only do this for the 15 or 20 people that maybe I don't know on the call. So my background is I built an agency up, actually became reasonably successful thanks to internet marketing, thanks to my local agency, but I really didn't start that way. For everybody else, you have to ignore this for like 3 minutes, so I apologize. So this is kind of where I lived as a kid in the 70s, early 70s, and this house looks like it's right out of the 70s, right? Back when I lived there was no double driveway like that fancy pavement there. So 7075 Glendora Street, I can still remember, Pensacola, Florida, 32506, I think. So my dad was in the Army, and he actually was on a naval base in Pensacola at NAS Pensacola. He was stationed there. He was a cryptology, like a electronic spy during the Vietnam War, and served over in Vietnam and Turkey and a few other places. But we lived in Pensacola. And what else? I didn't realize it back then, but we were pretty poor, I guess, in the larger spectrum. Maybe not globally, but by American standards, guys. And what I think you'll find really interesting is my first job was, if you don't count lawn mowing, was working at Burger King. A friend of mine's dad guy at my high school's dad owned 2 Burger Kings, like as a franchisee, I think. And it ended up hiring me and a few other guys. And so I did my best to work the drive-through. Drive-through was where it was all the cool people, right? Got to see the girls coming in. It was right on the beach. When you're 15, 16 years old, man, drive-through is where it's at. Making the Whoppers was not where it was at, but I did that a lot. And you got to figure out the value of hard work. And I was chatting, I think it was Doug Starks on a call a few weeks ago, talking about luck. Why is Doug so lucky, or Darcy or David Perkins or other guys, right? You guys will understand, and Doug, you're going to laugh. Luck really doesn't just happen. I've yet to have luck happen to me on a regular basis. And I started thinking to myself, I was actually talking to Vanessa a bunch while I was allegedly on vacation, and I'm like, Vanessa, why are some of the guys so lucky? What tricks do they know? Do they have some special product or strategy that nobody else does? And the answer, you guys, in case you have to drop off, is no. Or why is my geographic area not good? That's not true either. When will my luck change? What are you missing? Right? You start thinking about this. Doug said, just like I said last time, Brian, luck happens often to the people who are consistent and put in the work. And I agree, of course, with Doug. So if this sounds like you, if you're either getting started, I know we got a few people like that lately, and I appreciate all you guys that are newer. Really appreciate you. Maybe like my friend David and myself, David Perkins and I have had this conversation. We both had lost some clients in 2019. Maybe you need more businesses or more clients or more business generically to reach your goal, your income goal, or you're ready to scale up with a sales team. I know Starks and a few others got involved building like an inside team, a lead generation team. Maybe you got leads, you can't close them, or you're great at closing deals, but you don't have leads. You got a product ready to sell, or maybe you don't have a product. Maybe your offer, you're missing, you got some kinks, right? But you're ready. But I suspect all of us are at the same point that we're ready to make money. Let's figure out how. And how can you get there, and how can you make the money that you want to make? Everybody has their own numbers. There's nobody typing anything in. There's no polls and no surveys. So I will do my best to tell you the only secret I could come up with, the only words of wisdom that might provide value and help you. And I'll try to tell you that in the next couple minutes. Last one, I think, for the newbies. And I just mean new on the list, new working with me. So I did the corporate route, undergrad, grad school. I was commissioned as a second lieutenant. I ended up taking the out. They were kicking officers out of the military, and I ended up going corporate. And it wasn't what it was cracked up, as most of you guys already know. But I eventually did rise up to VP level at a few software companies, which I was on the team that sold. I was low man on the team, which means I made a few bucks, but I sure didn't get rich, right? I did better selling my own moonlighting. I started moonlighting at night, kitchen table, bedroom, laying on the bed, right? Doing local marketing with websites and SEO. And then from there, it all changed, like the wind. But I sold that business back in 2009 to a software company run by a guy I used to know. He really wanted me back on board. And I said, you have to buy my company. And he did. We do a media match anywhere between 150. I mean, sometimes as high as 300,000 a month. It just depends on the month. Depends on what's going on. Insurance, real estate, automotive, accountants. I'm not here to talk about instant reply, but it's a SaaS tool that I've been working on for a few years. It's the rebranded version of a product called Voice Drops. Got a few children. Even my college kid is home right now before the bleed continues back at school. And I actually got started in internet marketing, domain flipping in 94. And I did a product, if you want to call it that. I didn't know it was called a product, in the dating niche on America Online in 95 that maybe went to 97 or 98. And then locally, I'm involved on the school board because I really do enjoy education, training, that kind of stuff. And got elected with internet marketing skills. I didn't really have any connections. And Vanessa, was giving me a hard time. And if you guys don't know Vanessa, she's kind of, let's call her ops manager, VP of ops, I don't know, right-hand person, all that kind of jazz, but just a fabulous lady. We've been friends, God, since 03, I think, you guys, so 17 years. And I started saying, have I been lucky for the last 25 years? This is back to it's all luck, right? Why do some people figure it out? It's all luck. So let's see. Yeah, Perkins just said she's the brains of the operation. For sure, guys. All right. This is what I look like on my first internet marketing product. I'm the second guy from the left in the front row. Pretty obvious, the shorter guy in the picture. Basically, all my friends I didn't think of them as tall, but looking at them now, they're all over 6 feet, and I'm like 5'10"-ish. So, yeah, so this is 1994. Internet's out. And I'm basically buying and selling and flipping domains and so forth, right? And I was a newbie, right? So maybe I was lucky then. About 10 years ago, I had gotten back from the agency space. I had 1 foot back in the product IM space again. This is a friend of mine, a young boy there, Mario Brown, and we were doing a bunch of work together for a couple years. And I still had brown hair, not silver, gray, whatever I have now. Let's see. No, a bunch of my friends were Sigma Pi, Mike Barton. So yeah. So this is like 10 years ago. I guess I'm lucky then. 7 years ago, I started looking at some old pictures for this, right? I had a lot of time on my hands with the knee problems, right? On the left, you guys will see, I don't know if Patty Rakowski's here, but she's in here on the front left. Fabulous lady and her husband, Wayne, in the front. That's Captain Lou and Mike Filsame and Andy Jenkins, who recently he passed away. Really nice guy. Turned his life around over his career. Just a fabulous, good person, right? His wife, his family that I had a chance to meet. And you'll see in the back, Daryl Eves. Some of you know Daryl, Josh Boxer, Costas Pepis, Frank Kern. Who else is there? Who's in front of Frank, the guy in the white hair? I can't tell if that's Ira or who that is. Alex Becker, Jeff Smith, Jack Mize, my wife Rebecca over by Jack. And then on the right, you see Mike Filsame and I and good friends of mine, John Sousa, Ty Cohen. Who is that? Bill and Tom Bill. So, no, I'm not knocking turning gray. I'm good with gray. So, all of this, right? This is 7 years ago. And I started looking at this stuff. Some of you guys were here. I see Elaine Albright, very front row to my left. This is 5 years ago on my birthday. Sid Michael in the back with his hand up, good buddy of mine. You see Ruben Romero, and I just started looking through these pictures over the years and thinking about luck, right? I took everybody, it was my birthday, I took everybody to, it was actually Journey and it might have been Steve Miller. I don't know if I was just wearing a Steve Miller shirt or if it was Journey and Def Leppard or Journey and somebody. I don't remember. But Rebecca rented a bus and we went downtown and went to the show. There's Barack. So, yeah, Todd, you were there, right? Friedman, weren't you there? Hey, Todd, welcome back from St. Martin. Fabulous guy. I had a chance to meet over the last couple of years. Todd from, I guess I'm going to go Todd from Boston who lives in New York, right, Todd? It was Journey and Steve Miller. Okay, good deal. All right. Yeah, so I'm thinking about all this stuff. 3 years ago, I lost some weight. I got to lose that weight again. It's Joe Troyer and I and Damian Zamora and his wife and Taggart and Kevin Z from Canada. And then that's Jay Cruz on the right. I went to Corey Sanchez's wedding and it was a bunch of, I had to dress suave. I got that jacket for $69, you guys, at Steinmart. Don't tell anybody. I was very happy with it because a size L fit instead of an XL for a while. And then this, 2 years ago, I know Doug was here. Matt and I did a bunch of events. Actually, Doug, that's your face in the picture to the left of me in the green shirt, I think. I'm pretty sure that's Doug right there. It is Doug. And then Matt and I. And then this year, I got lucky, I guess, again. And, luck. I was in Ireland, right? No, that's actually Barcelona on the left, but I went to Ireland, which is on the right. Speaking of luck, and here's skiing in the hour and a half before I went down the other day, or maybe it's after I went down. She stopped me for a picture. I don't know, but I started thinking about this 25-year trip. It ended, from the kitchen table in the bedroom to, a nice office and great team. I know Meredith's on the call. I saw her, and I know who else is on the call? Vanessa's on the call at least. And I started thinking about it. I really didn't get lucky. I sure as heck didn't make it overnight because I can think of a lot of nights where I was juggling bills and paperwork and trying to figure it all out. Absolutely. Let's see. But I did figure out, maybe I figured out a secret, right? And I call it a secret. I'm going to tell you right now. So I don't think it's anything magical, but I do think it's important. Let me walk you through what I think to be a simple exercise. And I did this with a couple people that I did a coaching call with in the past 60, 90 days. Hey, and you guys, remind me at the end of the call. I'm doing these office hours on certain days, and I'd love to, anybody that comes to webinars and stuff, love to chat when it makes sense. I don't have a lot of time, but I'd love to talk and so forth. So, but let me walk you through something I did with a really nice couple last month. And I became friends with them over time. And go ahead and put a 1 in the question box if this sounds like you. Over the last couple weeks, months, or years, have you bought any kind of local or internet marketing products? Think about that for a minute. Just give me a 1. I know that's a stupid question, but give me a 1 so I can see how many people answer. All right. So I don't care what kind, mine, somebody else's, doesn't matter, right? Yeah, duh, right? All right. So I started thinking about it, right? And I had this picture of some guys in a mastermind that I help run. I'm one of the exec team on this mastermind with a lot of these guys that you see. I suspect that many of you have bought products from some of the people on this picture. Billy Jean in the middle, y'all know him. Mike Cooch, great guy. Chris Winters over there on the left. Where am I? I'm right next to Mike on the right with Corey. Jason Bell behind me. One of the Sharks right behind me, Nick. We became good friends recently. Joe Troyer in the back. Ben Atkins. Alicia Little. She's just fabulous, you guys. If you hadn't met her, she's super, super sweet. I love what she does in Jamaica. It's so cool. Oh, Larry, shoot me a message on that. Yeah, so you start looking at this stuff, right? And I was talking to these friends of mine. They've been on my list for a long time. And I said, I'm going to call them Jane and what can be their fake names? Jane Doe and what's the other? John Doe. Jane and John. Are you flush with business? How's it going, right? And this is new in our conversation. And I asked him, I said, have you been landing clients using some of these products? Have you been successful? Have you made inroads into where you wanted to get, right? And I'm having this conversation with them. Steve, let me give it to you at the end, right? All right. And then and they were like, no. And they're like, the wife said it was like a barren wasteland. So I was looking for a picture, you guys, of a barren wasteland. And thank you, Google Images. This came up. I don't know. Where is this? Arizona? I don't know where this is supposed to be. But this is a barren wasteland, right? And all right. Think about it. You're buying these products. I'm buying products too. I just picked up 2 products in the past month. Decent products, I think, so far. But you got to translate it to cash. It's so important. I see Francis here, who I know I've chatted with online and on the phone a couple times. Really nice guy. And we've had this discussion, translating what you buy to cash. Because no clients equals no business. I don't care if they're e-com clients, affiliate marketing clients, local clients. Doesn't matter. No clients, no business. And I was telling these guys, I said, you got to look in the mirror. I said, be honest with yourself. Are you giving it your all? And, the wife said no and the husband said yes. So I figured the truth was somewhere in the middle. And I would ask you guys, think about it. Are you giving it your all? And there's no right answer, right? I'm sure it varies by person. And are you giving it your all? And I started thinking, maybe you are, right? Maybe you are. And because I was lazy, I had made this slide a long time ago. And I wrote, I am spinning my wheels all day, but nothing is getting any traction. And it's not about a product. It's not about a fulfillment, right? It's not. How many of you would agree there are times when you feel like you're spinning your wheels all day, but nothing is working? Nothing is getting any traction. Let's see. Yep, a lot of agreement. It doesn't mean that the product wasn't any good or that you weren't working it. Maybe it means you're missing an angle that you can apply. Maybe they didn't cover it in the product, or maybe you didn't think about it. Right? So think about that. I know most of the products these guys put out, and with very few exceptions, they're pretty good. However, that doesn't mean they're perfect. I'm not perfect. I know they're not either. And I, with all respect, I like them all. From Sprague, all of them are good people, and they mean well, and they want the best. And I mean well, and I want the best. And I started thinking, what could help connect the dots for people that have invested? You've got strategies, softwares, all this stuff. What is it? Right? It's probably not a different product. What you have is probably a good product. Hey, have you guys ever been on a? Here we go. Can you see me? There we go. I sent Nick. Nick Ponte keeps messaging me while I'm on the call, so I'm gonna send him a message. All right. So what could it be? And really, what I came up with is you got to get inside the mind of the client. You got to get inside the mind of the client. I don't mean the product, what you're trying to sell or hack or hawk or whatever, right? I mean you got to get that client. You really do. Yeah, like Darcy just said, as soon as tech improves, our expectations increase. And listen to this from Jack Brandon from Atlanta. And Jack's a former exec, big company exec. He said, never concentrate on any one product for very long if you don't sell immediately. So maybe, I mean, and there's probably truth to that, but imagine if it's not the product. I'm not saying you didn't give it your all, but maybe there's something else. So I started writing down, I said there's 5 steps to more clients, right? What are they? All right. You got to have a niche. Not everybody, but I think it helps most people to have a niche. You got to have honey, apparently, today. Hang on. I'm going to have a little hit if you don't mind. You got to prospect using multi-channel. I think we can all agree on that. We're not here to talk about instant reply and things like that, but you really do have to. Never thought I'd do honey in a spoon live on a webinar, but I figured there's no JV here. I can get away with a little bit, and I could use it right now. So that's probably not good for you, is it? All right. I say smart proposal. It may be intelligent email response or an order page, right? You need something that's targeted and client specific to get those deals, right? Yeah, Darcy, I still haven't got that, man. Still haven't got it. Now, Tom Garner said something that I really agree with. Tom just said, Brian, confidence in your product, confidence in yourself. You got to have both of those, 100%. I should have them up there. I don't, but I agree. Let me try to break this down a little more. So picking a niche. I mean, you guys know this stuff. I'm not here to preach. The niche you choose to pursue sets the tone for all of your marketing, your positioning, for how you get clients, what you say, what you do. Some of you were involved in automotive strategies that I did with Sid, right? I know a few of you here were. Florian, I know you were. Perkins, there's others, William. There is no single one right niche, right? For some, it's automotive. For others, it's real estate. Others, it's insurance. Others, it's medical, right? There's no legal. There's no right answer. So you remember, okay, we got to get in the right mental space to work with that niche. I mean it. If you're working with realtors, you got to get in the groove. I don't mean you have to become a realtor like Steve Johnson did, by the way, but you got to be connected. You got to get it, right? And I started saying, all right, what makes someone good at getting clients? I have this subscription. I don't know why, but I get this from back when I was in grad school. I've been getting a Harvard publication, right? A business review. And I remembered an old one. This is, I don't know, a decade ago. And they said to be good at getting clients, you needed to have empathy and you needed to have this innate need to conquer. This is almost 15 years old. I think it's still true today, and I'll explain this in a little more detail. You need to have empathy to connect with the client, and you need to have this drive to conquer, right? All right. So empathy. I mean, a lot of you guys, right? If you've been to counseling before, you've probably talked about empathy. I've been to counseling, right? You have to feel as your prospect does to land deals. You have to, I tell you, you have to feel it. You need to be able to change pace. You got to be able to, there's a lot of mumbo jumbo on number 2. How about we just call it pivoting? You got to be able to pivot, juke, right? Move. You need to this is a big one. I am personally 100% on board with number 3. You need to understand their pain points, what motivates them, and how they think. Very, very important. That one. Now, this need to conquer. I think all of us, give me a 1 if you feel like you have an innate need to be successful. You're so hungry. You can't be taught this. You're hungry for your own reasons. We've talked about them on other webinars. You have this need to win, right? If that's you, just put a 1 in there. All right. So, a lot of you. You have to want it. Nobody can teach you. Maybe Gary Vee, maybe Grant Cardone, I don't know, but I sure can't. You got to want to win. Nobody, right? Nobody can teach that. No one can teach you how to want it. You got to have this ego drive, right? Now, this doesn't mean you don't have to want to be a millionaire and build a 7-figure business. That's not what this means. You may just want to win to the point that you land a few deals and you create some freedom, location and income independence. It doesn't mean you're a millionaire. Everybody's need is a little bit different, right? In short, now I kind of netted this out because there was a bunch of double talk in the article aimed at Harvard MBA types. So I decided that it really was saying this. This is my 2 cents. To really maximize your chance of winning, you need to understand the client. Would you guys agree? You need to understand the client. Todd, I know you agree, man. You guys, if you don't get the client, how they think, right? Hey, Dr. Walker, how they profit, how their business works, where they spend money today, budgets, goals, how they measure success, all this stuff. If you don't do this, if you don't, either you innately know it, which some of you do, or what I try to do is consciously do some research. Truthfully, that's what I do every time. And you have to, this allows you to win. You want to know how to get lucky? Do this slide right here. This is exactly how to get lucky. So my second step on the 5 steps was extensive research. This might be the missing link for so many of you. If I was really cool, I'd have a missing link picture, but I'm not that cool. You got to do that research. Figure out the pain points, standard practices. What are businesses that are winning? What are they doing right with their marketing? What are they doing wrong? You got to have conversations. You got to know what the client's worth to them, new customers are worth. What do they pay for marketing, right? What kind of words? If you remember in the automotive course, we did a lot with language. Sid was a really good teacher. How many of you that might have been involved in that program remember words like bullets, a roach, a bogue? What else? A turning of the wrench, an RO. You remember those words, you guys? A lot of you, right? Be back. Thank you, Perkins. Yeah, be back. Guys, important. You got to know the language. And some businesses like automotive have a really specific language. You got to use multi-channel. I don't need to convince you. You know this. You don't need to hear it from me right now. You're not going to send one email and get clients. You know it and I know it. There's a whole heck of a lot of ways. Hey, I'm going to do a content call on lumpy mail probably next week if y'all want to come. Remind me, Vanessa, invite the whole list because I really think it's a cool thing that's just been working for us for a long time. We talked about it once or twice back in 14, but y'all should definitely be using that. All right. The whole smart emails, you got to use their language in your offer, your sales page, your proposal. You got to speak about what they want solved, not what you want to sell. Don't sound generic, right? Create packages priced based on their customer value, not on what you want. All right, cool. Yeah, Thomas has said, Brian, how many ups do you want? I love it. All right. I don't want you to lose hope. A lot of you get frustrated, and I get frustrated sometimes for you. I had this. What could one customer a week really mean? It doesn't sound like a lot. Really, it's not. One a week. Think back 5 months, pull up your records. Were you able to increase it 5 times? Maybe you weren't. Maybe your income hasn't gone up 5 times. I have this little chart, right? If you're willing to block and tackle, this is some stuff we did a year or two ago. Just stick to the basics. You can do this. So as an example, landing a client every week for $750, it just stacks up. You're at $15,000 recurring in just a few months. And that's a small amount. Y'all know that. That is a small amount of money to charge. It may seem like a lot when you only have 0 1 clients, but as you get a little bit better, it's not very much. I started thinking about some really good wins I had. For 4 years, I had a win from Sonatrol, which is an alarm company, a security company, and I won a deal. I won a franchisee in Florida. They invited me to speak at their franchise in Tucson. And you know what? I don't know if she's on the call, but Angela. Oh my God, Brian Frazier. Oh, all the last names are escaping me. Anyway, she was there and helped me with my presentation, by the way. So Angie, thank you very much. Yeah, so I was on there. You can see my name there in yellow, speaking about SEO in April of 11. I landed 21 deals there in 2 hours. 21 deals in 2 hours. Pretty crazy. And I played golf. I played golf like the next day with some of them. And it lasted 4 years. Now I actually have this one. This is kind of interesting. I got this one. Here's actually the sign-up form I was using in April of 12 for local SEO. I haven't even cashed it. It's sitting on my desk. $1,800. You can see straight up. I know a lot of people talk shit on these webinars. They don't have any clients. They're liars. Mine's dated 12/31 of 19. Anyway, I need to cash that one, or at least get it in the bank. I've had these guys as a client, and some of you have been around, remember, since April of 2012. That is almost 8 years. And I have a bunch of different franchisees, not just this one. Pretty crazy. April of 2012. All right. Crazy. So I landed over 100. I don't have 100 still. I'd love to tell you I did. Local SEO clients with a franchise out of San Diego. And I had $300 to $350. Average was $350. I actually got a referral, spoke at their conference, crushed it, and got a hell of a lot of deals. More money than I ever needed with one deal right here. Automotive. Now, Sid put me down the path here. I closed this one on my own. Sid wasn't even with me. Me and my original partner at Media Mash was a guy named Peter. And Peter and I went in to sell this car dealership, 2012. And we closed it. We got a deal. It was small at first, and we grew it over a few months. All kinds of services, right, for this car dealership. And lasted a couple of years, 3 years. We got up to $7,500 a month. That's not too shabby, right? And for multiple years getting these checks. So getting the deal is important, right? I want everybody to have that feeling of crossing another deal, right? Landing another deal. John, right now we're not selling anything. We're talking about just kind of getting our heads on straight 2020, maybe what's working, what's not working. John Wolf. And, the big question, and I'll, kind of recap for everybody. Does every product not work? I don't think so. I don't think that's it. I think there's a different disconnect that I'm going to speak about. I don't think it's that every product on the planet doesn't work. Because why did Darcy close 5 deals last month? Now, she crushed it because she had to. She got her back against the wall and she fought her way out of it. But, guys, we can all figure this out, all of us. Think about the biggest problems holding you back, right? No, thank you, Steve. Think about the biggest problems holding you back. And I'll tell you what I see as some of them. You guys know consistency because I talked about it with Instant Reply, most of you. But based on all these one-on-one calls and webinars and chatting back and forth, lots and lots of emails, right? It's consistency and it's a lack of knowledge. What does that mean? I don't mean you're not smart. You guys all know internet marketing pretty well, really well, some of you. But the reality is you got to figure out what's stopping you from getting the deals. I don't care if you're a good salesperson. You don't have to be a good salesperson. But if you are not good at sales and you don't know anything about the business you're selling to, it's a little harder. And almost everybody I speak to has these problems. Like Francis has said, Brian, why is picking a niche? Hang on one sec. Why is picking a niche so hard? It doesn't have to be, Francis. You know what's killing you? What's the single biggest area killing you? Was it Tom that said it about confidence? I did have it, Tom. You've got zero confidence, and it shows with your prospecting and your understanding of the prospect, the client. You're not going to get lucky without putting in the work. You guys know that. Maybe one or two of you may. There's a lot of people here. Maybe a couple of you will. So the only real difference between you and me and some of the people that are really doing well, right? The only real difference, they've got that proven strategy they execute consistently, and they know their niche, the buzzwords, what works, what doesn't work. They know it cold, straight up. Give me a 1 right now if you know your niche and you know it cold, like so cold you probably start a business in that area. Do you know your niche cold? Let's just see what everybody says. I should put a poll up, but I didn't build any, you guys. I really been under the weather. Thanks, Lowell. Yeah, almost. Yep. Not really. Yeah, like a few of you definitely do. A few of you definitely do. That's probably, in my mind, the only thing, these two things that are holding you back. It's that confidence, that consistency. If you don't have that knowledge, it's tough. You solve this, things will change. You'll have more leads, clients, revenue, all that stuff. It really will come together. So I'm not going to tell you that, that there's some push button, one thing you need to buy or anything like that. I will tell you, and we've talked about it with Instant Reply, there's not a single method to get clients, right? And, back to those 5 steps, when you pick the niche and you do the research and you're hitting them consistently with multiple channels, right? And you're getting really intelligent about how you do it, that's when luck seems to happen, right? That's when the 4-leaf clovers are finding. They're falling out of the sky. People are using all these different things that we've chatted about these before, but they're using all these things. And like me, I mean, some of you guys are doing multiple touch, multiple channelable, multiple touch, all that kind of cool stuff, things like this, emails and voice drops and automated text. All these things play a role. However, it really does, you have to know what you're talking about, right? To get responses from your email, why doesn't everybody's email get response? Do you ever think that maybe your email, it didn't show your knowledge, right? These deals, right? They didn't really, these are just different ones I had slides of. They didn't really resonate with you, right? They didn't show that you're an expert. They didn't show this kind of stuff, right? And if they don't show this kind of stuff, you're not going to become wildly successful. Key lesson, key takeaway. I don't know if they still say this stuff over on Warrior Forum and Warrior Plus and JV Zoo and stuff, but you will not become, I haven't said this in a long time. Ignore the sales pages. I think most of you guys know. You will not become wildly successful picking up 197 to 397 checks from local clients. Can we all agree on that? Will you all give me a yes if you will agree that you are not going to become wildly successful doing this, right? All right. Yeah, let me show you the math. Nadine gave me a yes with 3 pluses. Let me show you the math. Let's say you actually did do this. Let's say whatever moron sales page was saying this. Let's say you did it. What if you did it 12 times, right? Maybe $450. I'll go on the high end of the range. So now you're making $50-something $100. You're going to pay some to fulfill. You're going to make about $4,000, and then you're going to pay taxes on that. How many of you think you just crushed it? You did what the sales page said. You're picking up checks from people dying to throw them at you. Do you feel like you're wildly successful with $4,300 of which you're going to pay taxes? Nope. You're going to have to get lots and lots of numbers at those price points. Lots of numbers. And it is, like Nadine said, exhausting. Exhausting. That strategy will leave you pretty much like this, with a lot of bills, maybe a payment on a house that you didn't really want, maybe an older car. It's not going to leave you where you want to get. So the key in my mind is to somehow take a shortcut to expert status. All right. I don't mean that you have your picture in CNN, right? You were on a press release. I don't mean that. I mean that you really get it. You're connected, right? You know these steps. You've done the research. You've done the work. Like I started thinking about over the years, people always ask me, what niches do I work in? And it changes because I get bored. Security, like the Sonatrol stuff, I did pretty deep. Franchise, that's been one of my best niches. Some of you guys know, years ago, I did a product with Daryl Eves about it. I only promoted it once, honestly, because it's a really good niche, you guys. I'm not here to promote that, but it's a good one if you're so moved. Legal, I did a lot of work with lawyers, more work than I could ever imagine. Out of all my years, the client most likely to screw you over was probably a lawyer. Personal injury lawyer is the last guy that really screwed me over. Accountants, insurance, automotive, right? So, any other ones? HVAC. I've been doing this thanks to my brother. I got into this niche and really got a lot of knowledge. It's not just me. I was chatting with Darcy Hall, and I stole this out of the instant reply group. Darcy, if you're on here. And you know what? A lot of people, when you really just focus and you really say, hey, where do I need to get, right? Where do I need to be successful? And I started thinking about reinventing our company, which I've done many times, reinvented towards bots, from SEO to lead gen with bots, right? Lots of ups and lots of downs, honestly. And I realized that there's one process that really helps me close business and get leads. And it doesn't matter what product I sell. I could be selling websites, social Wi-Fi. I don't care. The process is the same, right? So this is the blueprint, right? We use research. We use it to get more leads. We use it to increase our conversions, how to stand out from other marketers and win deals, how to know what to sell. This is an important one. A lot of people always ask me, what would you sell this client? Well, you got to do the research, right? What would you charge? Funny enough, you have to do the research. So this year for me is going to be a little different than years gone by. I'm going to focus not on yard work. Sorry, Rebecca, but I'm going to focus more on digging deep in the business, right? Yeah, Bud said, Brian, at the end of the day, we sell lead gen for clients. I think a lot of us do that. I'm going to focus on digging deep, right? And the key is not lead gen, but the clients. And for me, it really is like panning for gold. I mean, for truth. One really good client is worth 100 crap clients, Alex just said, and I would agree with him. And you got to sift through the garbage to get to the gold, right? And somebody earlier said, I don't really want $1 million business. You don't have to. I was talking to a guy the other day, happy with $2,500 a month. Very easy and attainable. So what I want to do this year, the whole year, is this. You guys should see it. It's called 2020 Niche Mastery. And it's a takeoff on what I did with Sid in automotive and what I did in some paint by numbers products, insurance, real estate, etc. in the past. But I really want to dive deep. So I decided to build an anti-course, right? That would happen, live together over the entire year, because it's more of a network, right? It's 48 live calls, at least 4 every month, if not more. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the research with you and for you and help you. I'm going to show you exactly what we do, the analysis. I'm going to do something you've never seen before, and I'm going to tell you the unfortunate reason why. I'm going to bring on clients of mine on the calls with you. How many of you would love to talk to a plastic surgeon? I have to see if I can get him to come to the webinar. I have to do it at night and pull some strings. Worst case, I get his office manager, right? But I'm going to get into the 4 parts, right? The analysis, the client interview, right, which really helps me understand what's going on, budget and pricing exploration, and then what to sell. And then I'm building out these cheat sheets, these resources. All right. So this is kind of what we're doing this year. This is what I'm doing this year, is I'm going to do this initially in these 12 industries. I may add some more in, and I got a couple bonuses that I'll add in. But automotive, that should say automotive repair, not automotive, because I think we beat automotive to death pretty good. But carpet cleaning, chiropractic, churches. I can't wait to talk about that, y'all. Got a great speaker lined up. CPAs, dentists, roofing, real estate, lawyers, and we may do a couple different lawyer speakers. Insurance, HVAC, and funeral homes, right? These are the initial ones out of the gate that we're really going to hit. Now, hang on. Yeah, I got a couple other ones I'm going to tell you about, but every month we're going to hit 4 modules all the same way. It's a system. We're going to explore the niche. If you're in automotive, you know what I'm talking about. We're going to take it from a demographics. How do they make money? What's their product that they sell, and what do they charge? What's the value of a lead in a customer? How do they get customers? I like to do a SWOT analysis, and I'll get into that. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in each module. And what hot buttons do you need to exploit to really get business? I am pretty sure that for a large percentage of you, this is the missing link. So as an example, module 2, you'll meet a client of mine who's in the niche, a roofer, maybe a plastic surgeon. You'll get to hear firsthand from the business owner in that niche. You can ask hard questions. Honestly, it would help me if you had lobbed them in advance, and then I could just tee them up interview style. You can discover all the pain points that nobody else out there knows, the ones that are out collecting checks, right? You're going to figure out revenue opportunities you've never even thought about, right? Oh, sorry, Steve. Yeah, I'll get you a replay, man. All right. No, so guys, this is the real deal. I can do this because we have a lot of clients. Even some might be past clients, but I still get them on the call. Budget, we'll get into. Let's figure out how much money are they spending. You remember car dealers, they spend a lot. Florists, don't spend very much. What do they spend on marketing? Is there a certain vendor, like a home advisor, that they buy a lot of leads or product from? How should you price your offer to stand out? How do you bundle, right? And then the 4th module every month. Now, this is important. Francis, for you, my friend, what should you sell? What should you sell? Because it's not what you want to sell. It's not going to be some product you bought from one of those guys on the picture earlier. It needs to be what they want to buy. It needs to be what they need. If it doesn't, you're making a mistake. These 4 modules, and then Vanessa agreed to kind of step in with me and create a little cheat sheet every month, right? A little PDF with the language, the number 1 or 2 problems you can solve, how to target them, how to present them in a way, the hot buttons, right, that resonates, how to package and price, how to fulfill effectively. So as an example, if it was lead gen and it was YouTube video lead gen, I'd give you the exact strategy or vendor that I would use to go after this. And in many cases, this is not going to be something I do or sell. This is going to be based on what the niche needs. Funny enough, that Ben, how to fulfill. No, Quantum Chat's very much alive. I don't promote it on webinars right now, Larry, but it's a lion's share of our business here. So I'm going to put the link up, but I did make some bonuses for y'all. And Vanessa, you put it in the chat, but y'all hang on one sec. Let me show you. Let me show you a couple little bonuses here. And Vanessa, are you there? Did I just hang up on Vanessa?
No, I'm here.
All right, awesome. Yep, I'm making sure. So I'll let you put it in the chat. So let me do this, you guys. We'll do a Facebook group because that just seems like what we all like to do. It's a good way to connect. What else? We're going to do this for you because I know I saw somebody that used to be in Voice Drops really want some help with lists. I'm like, look, we've got a pretty big team. We can still do this for you as a bonus. There is no skin off my back to do this. We'd love to help you with this, creating custom lists in the niches you need with all the kind of information you want, right? We'll do that kind of stuff for you. So campaign templates, every month we'll build out a new campaign template, right? Absolutely. And I'll have them working in instant reply if you use that. If you don't, you could just use them standalone, right? Instant reply makes it kind of slick, but you don't have to do that. What else? Now, I gave you those 12 niches that I originally wanted to do, but Vanessa had done a poll and got a lot of feedback from people that they really wanted med spas, cosmetic surgeons. So fortunately, I have clients in both. Restaurants can help with that one, and gyms. And I have a gym client. Matter of fact, he owns my office building, the guy that owns the World Gyms here. And what's cool is we're going to hit these as well. And we're really going to get into this thing so that you have this kind of knowledge. Now, if you do sign up and you do decide you like this, I did a little bonus. I've got a whole training system that I'll teach you. It'll be extra calls, but I'll give you the material and the training on how to land franchises. So what's important about that is it's that one-to-many model where you get one client, one sales cycle, and you land multiple deals. Kind of like some of the examples I'd given you earlier. Here's a good monetary example. I happen to have this slide. One sales cycle, I got 107 deals. So pretty amazing, right? It's almost boggles the mind, really. But this is, in my mind, where I really want to spend my time this year. I know that the missing link for most people is that they don't get the business. They don't understand the niches. And if you don't have that level of understanding and insight, you're probably not going to win. And it's not the product's fault that you're promoting or selling. It's not your fault, but you really, really have to have this. So, all right. Yeah, somebody said, hang on, let me find the price. Now, look, this is a whole year. It's not cheap. I don't really have time to do things that are really cheap, and it's not personal. But what I did do, you guys, is I decided to get sick. What else? Let's see if I can get this to pop up. Screen locked up. All right. So we're going to sell this for $2,000. And you can see the different options. I just decided, look, man, no one's going to have to ask me these questions ever again. I'm going to have a 1 pay, a 2 pay, a 4 pay, or a 10 pay. So if that one of your question was, is there a payment plan? The answer is yes. And so remember, this is a product for the entire year. I look at it as more of a mastermind group. Plug into our office hours. You can call in and get some help. Although the goal is to give you that niche mastery that's going to make you successful. So you're going to get the 16 niches, right? The 12 that I went over at first, right? The additional niches. right? That's 16, the equivalent of 16 courses. We're going to go deep into them. This is exactly what I just told you. We just wrote it down on the slides for you. I just rolled it down on the webpage. We're going to have those guest interviews, those hot seats. I don't know where else. There's not too many marketers that are going to bring you personal injury lawyers and cosmetic surgeons and med spa owners and restaurant owners. We can, right? We're going to keep it real, you guys. You may say, well, I only really like insurance. Well, you might, if it's not working too well, you may decide that there's a better mousetrap for you. We're going to teach you all of what you need, right, to really get these deals, right? We're going to give you the action plan, the cheat sheets, the vocab, everything you need, the bonuses, all of this stuff. I see a bunch of good feedback on the franchise stuff. Yeah, that's going to be separate. It won't be part of the core training. It'll be extra calls, but I already have it all built out. And I told Vanessa today, I said, you know what? Somebody's going to ask me about franchises because I brought it up. So I am prepared. For those that are interested, we will do some training on one-to-many and franchises and how you guys can replicate it. Awesome. Yep. So we're going to do all of this. This is going to be at least 4 calls every month. It's 1 or 2 calls a week. Matter of fact, we've already got the first one scheduled, and we're just going to roll them out. Very, very important. Why are we doing that? You got to keep this real because I have to have clients come on and be live. There's a little bit of coordination to pull this off. So we're going to do this, and I'll let the order go based on the members. And we'll give you guys some control on that. But yeah, this is our 2020. We're gonna do this vision mastermind all around mastering niches. And we think for most of you, this is gonna change everything about your business because I already know you want to win. You know you want to win. You don't need me to convince you want to win by any means, right? That's ridiculous. Most of you are buying quality products and training. You're buying services that just plain work. The disconnect comes, and I think if you're honest, if you look in the mirror like that slide, like I talked to this couple, if you're honest, you do want to win. You do have some good stuff, but something's holding you back. And if you haven't crushed out the niche you're working, I would beg to tell you that the one thing that I tend to do better than a lot of the other marketers, agency owners I'm speaking of, is I really get the business that we're selling to. And when you do get that, it's completely different, y'all. Completely different. Right? All right. So let's take some questions. My voice is limited. I did good, 1 hour. That was good for me. A little bit of a late start. So I'm going to fire off and hit some questions, you guys. So yeah, somebody asked the important question. It's always, I get it. Yeah, it's basically $197 a month, but it's 10 payments. If you did a single pay, obviously it's a lot cheaper. And it's in the middle. So if you want a single pay, you can. If you want to do a 2 or a 4 pay, right? And the reality is the 10 payment makes it affordable for anybody because the point is not to exclude, but to make it available to fit you where you are. Appreciate that, Steve. Thank you. All right. So good question. Somebody asked me, what about bots? Yeah. One of the things we're doing is we've got some new bots we've been building. So all the niches as we do them, we're going to give you guys, I should have put it on the slides, but we're going to give you guys a custom bot that'll work with that niche. Jean-Paul said this is beyond exciting. That's awesome. Yeah, we're going to cover fulfillment very heavily. The whole point of this is that you do know how to fulfill. Not only do you know how, but you know what they want to buy. Because if you don't know what they want to buy, what are you really doing? Straight up. I don't care what you think you're selling. If that customer doesn't want to buy that, we've got to disconnect and you're not going to be successful. All right, let's see. Francis said, Brian, would video for lead generation be a niche? Yeah, Francis, you could do that, but I see that more as a service you're providing. In my mind, Francis, if you did video lead generation for auto repair shops, that would be tightly dialed in for you. Or perhaps restaurants or mortgage brokers or real estate, right? All right. Yeah, Francisco said, Brian, I got here a little bit late. That's okay, Francisco. We'll shoot you a replay. Awesome. Can we get your slides? Sure, Mike. Yeah, I'll make sure Vanessa puts them somewhere. Yeah, very, very important. What else? So if you guys need, Mike McMillan said, Brian, what about help with closing? Mike, we'll get into that. I can add some more in the Facebook group, but if you're struggling on closing, I think it would be easy to help you, especially if you're dialed in on the niche. It'll be easy to dial that in. We could do that on some of the office hours discussion, Mike, and really kind of figure that out. All right. So yeah, Perkins says, Brian, as long as it's $17, I am in. So it is $17 plus some other dollars, Dave. All right. Nope. Thank you, Steve. Yep. I will hopefully feel better. Nadine, good luck. Yep. All right. I think you can start getting this stuff implemented right away. You're going to get the concept right away. And like Mike said, Brian, just implement 4 funnels in your set. You're right. You're right. So this is all live. Somebody said, is this pre-done? And I think I would be stealing from you. I could pre-record most of this and just throw it out at you. The reality is, it doesn't work. I've been doing this a long time. I promise you that model never works. What if I told you that 80% of the people won't even look at the content? 80%. I promise you this model will work the best. And then we'll do some tweaks. So somebody said, what are the first? Vanessa, remind me what were the first 2. I mean, I could always change it, but we already started and built 2 out.
Insurance,
and what was the other one?
I'm going to have to go check. I'll be back.
All right. Well, thank you. So we've built out several of these. I've built the skeletons of almost all of them. And then what I need to do is, obviously the value is that live immersion. Oh, I see it. All right. Somebody said, Francis said, Brian, I've got a few business prospects in multiple niches. Why am I constantly told I have a problem finding a niche? Francis, so let me give you an example. You know what might be good for you? Imagine if you were focused on real estate, mortgage, and insurance. They kind of go together at some level, Francis. But if you were doing bars and cosmetic surgeons, it's completely different. You'd have to master 2 very different models to be successful. How you fulfill is different. All about those niches are different. Hey, Christy, thank you. Let's see. Chip said, when do we start? Yep. When do we start? We're starting this week. Yeah, welcome, Michael. Vanessa's texting me. Jill, there's a few of you guys, and I'll welcome you in a second. No, thank you, Gil. Gil, one of the honestly truly kind, very nice guy, but he's bright. I've known him, I don't know, Gil, since the Arizona days, 7-8 years. I appreciate that comment. What else? All right. So how does this work with instant reply? Well, one of the nice things, Rick, is every niche, you have to know what to say, right? You have to know what to say. You have to know what messages. So, I think I have it in my PowerPoint. Hang on, I got a slide for you. Oh my gosh, right? So I'm building out for all the niches. Here we come. Come on, screen. My screen's locked up. So Rick, so I'm building out different campaign templates that you can use in instant reply. Med spas. Thank you, Vanessa. So we have med spas right out of the gate. So I'm building out the actual templates that are optimized for the niche. And those of you in instant reply, you know that. You can use them in instant reply, but you don't have to. You can use them by yourself for sure. Yeah, Alexander, I'm not doing like Shopify e-com. It's a good question, but just being honest, I do some e-com, but for me, it's more of a side revenue stream. It's not my core focus. I could probably find some good material maybe to point you in that direction, but that's definitely not my immediate focus. Hey, welcome, Chip. Yeah, no, Jean-Paul, welcome for sure. Yeah, I didn't drink the bourbon Christie. I debated it. It sounded like a good idea, but I did not do it. Let's see. Yeah, we do a lot with historically with mortgage, David Perkins. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to flip some domain names in the mortgage space that I've held on to for a long time. I love it. You know what? I've now had 6 people ask about mortgage brokers, so we'll figure out how to work that in. We've had a decent amount of mortgage clients over the years. I've got a great one still locally that I can easily get to participate with us. I love it. So yeah, the custom built lists are designed for prospecting, right? So what does that really mean? So email. So what I mean by this is we actually build the list out for you. I don't mean we take Lead Kahuna and generate a list. I mean, we use a couple different tools. We kind of curate them together. We do some checks. We come up with things like email and phone and mailing address, all this material, right? So if you want, I don't know, roofers in Idaho in Boise, then we're able to build that for you, giving you this information that you see, so you don't have to spend your time on it. And we do this every day. Some of our team is always doing this for other members, whether you're in instant reply or other products. But this is such an important thing, because if you don't have the information on who you're targeting, it's hard to really be effective, right? Multi-channel if you don't have this kind of stuff. Let's see. Welcome, Mike. 2:00, Trevor, will be the live calls. Yeah, Francisco said, hey, the week of April 20th, maybe we can get a dispensary owner. You know, funny enough, I happen to know a dispensary owner. We could actually do that. Let's see. Tom, we'll have to shoot you some info. It's like Voice Drops Revisited, Tom Garner. Yeah, Larry said, Brian, so this model will confirm that a Facebook ad doesn't work for any niche, or pay-per-call is not right for just any niche. I strongly agree with you, Larry. I really think there are certain products and services that just work better. For instance, SEO may work in every niche, but it isn't what customers want to buy in every niche, right? Vanessa, will you help Michael Moffitt on the instant reply question? Yeah, well, Michael will help you out. Trevor, we're in East Coast. See, Francis said, oh, Francis, let me let Vanessa write you. Yeah, she wrote you back. Yeah, we do have a fitness bot for sure. Ken said, Brian, thank you. This sounds like perfect solution to building a successful agency without investing a ton of time to do it. Yeah, Ken, that's the goal is always to shortcut it. Guys, you don't need a shiny object. I don't think you do. I don't have any. And I got to be honest, I think what you need is that connection, right? You need that nexus of what turns the corner getting deals. That's what matters. How do I flip some good old domains that I've never used? One of mine is like Investor Mortgage, Dirk. I can't remember if I have com or net. I have one of them. I got a few of them. Yeah. So Let's see. Joy said, this is great for good leads. No, for sure. Yeah, no, we'll get into it. I don't want to get into it on the call on how to fulfill in all these niches because I can rattle off an answer for a few of them, right? I can rattle off an answer, but the reality is I think you deserve a little more than that. All right. Yep. So let's see. Gil said, hey, I just closed in concept. I love that, Gil. I do a lot of those kind of closings. A general contractor who spends $3,000 a month on Home Advisor and Angie's List. He wants me to do AdWords, Google My Business, and a website. Yeah, we can help you with that, Gil. Yeah, I'll tell you, Kevin Tony, he just landed a new fitness client, a gym client. Need a lead gen strategy to grow their membership. I'll tell you, just right on the call, Kevin, one thing that we've had a lot of success is customer reactivation into their old database. We've had a lot of success with that. Matter of fact, a friend of mine a couple of years ago was teaching me this, Rob Bailey, and this just works like gangbusters. We can talk about it offline, but that's a great strategy that'll really net you some results. All right. Let's see. Yeah, we're hitting each niche at least one every month in depth. To answer that question, somebody said we're not going to just touch on them all here and there. We're really gonna drill down on them, the guest speakers, all of that stuff at once. Perfect. All right. Let's see. Somebody just said, Brian, what niche should I work? Well, funny enough, we'll figure that out, I think, or should I say you'll figure that out. There's no single right answer. Yep. So the link, yeah, I put it in the chat, but hang on, let me put it here. So the whole goal from a niche standpoint is really, really allowing you to, what good is being an expert at, PPC if you can't get any clients? What good is being an expert at messenger marketing and bots if you don't have any clients? And you get it. What good is, I talked to a lot of people that had spent a lot of money in reputation, but they didn't have any clients. And, listen, I've used the same reputation products these guys have used. There were two, I won't name who, but two good products. And I've used them both. You know what the disconnect is? They're just not getting the deal. Hey, welcome, Ken Davis. They're just not getting the deal. And I really think that is a big problem. If you can't get the deal, you got to ask yourself, what you're doing isn't working. It doesn't mean the product's not good. It doesn't mean your reputation software isn't good. It just means your go-to-market strategy, your knowledge of that niche didn't get it done. All right. Patrick, yes. Patrick, I just hit you the link in the question box, Patrick. Yeah, Woodley, we'll help you on fulfillment because I think fulfillment's a big part of getting the deal. You have to have that confidence on how will you do it, right? Yeah, each niche will have 4 calls in general, David. So we'll go into them in detail. And the reason to that is kind of, let me show you. So the first call is really that analysis where we can really dive in on this thing. We can hit this thing demographically, how they make money, product price, value of leads, customers, how do they get customers today, really going through the SWOT analysis. Once you understand these things, you're going to be amazed at how confident you are talking to somebody in that niche. You really will. Ask anybody that was in the automotive course. They got it. What are the hot buttons to exploit? That is not the same. It's a good question. It's not the same one for every niche. The hot buttons in insurance are different than mortgage, which are different than cosmetic surgeon. So that's one call, David. And then the hot seat, so to speak. Right? Now, what's cool about this, what's very cool about this is you're going to meet real business owners. Once you've had the chance to talk to somebody who's really in that business, it's amazing how much of what you think you were going to do, you decide not to do because it doesn't work, right? You're going to be able to ask some hard questions without fear of reprisal. It's nobody you're trying to sell, and you're going to get the straight scoop. This right here is worth all the money in the world, right? You can't find this anywhere else, honestly, because most people don't have any clients. They have very few clients, most of these marketers that sell products. Doesn't mean they don't make good products. It just means they don't have any clients. And that's why they don't do stuff like this. You're going to learn, this is an important one, the hidden pain points no one else knows. So let's think about this. Somebody just said, can we talk about money? I mean, I think we should talk about money. So all right, so watch this. Come on. Screen's locked up. Let me get my screen to shift here. Come on. Sometimes go to webinar, you just want to. There we go. All right. Stick with the one client a week model. I'm a real big believer in this. It's unrealistic, I think, for a lot of people to try to get more than one client a week. Doesn't mean you can't do it. Of course you can do it. It just comes down to, is it real? If you're not getting any clients now, what makes you think you're going to get 5 a week, right? It's not going to happen. All right. So let's say you land med spa, 750 a month, right? Remember, if we look at just something simple like 4 weeks, right? Watch how this adds up. Now, there's no easy. So now you've gotten 3,000 monthly recurring revenue. All right. Month 1. Oh, I see the screen. There it is. So then you repeat, right? Okay. See, the beauty of being in the same niche is you're going to know what works to fulfill. You're going to know what works to generate results. See, now here's what else happens. It doesn't take very long. I think you'll be surprised. Right here at the 2-month mark, this puts you at 70,000 of revenue. And that doesn't sound very hard, does it? Just a few clients. Now, you may lose clients sometime. Straight up, you may. You're going to gain some back. We can't build that into this model on the webinar, but that's the real world. So I'm really believe, unless you're in a franchise model, you got to keep the price high enough that you can build a sustainable income without needing like 50 clients. That's why $197 checks don't work, guys. See, with this, you can get to a pretty real number pretty quick at just $750, right? Really important. Yeah, Tom, you should see it. Yeah, so I'm trying to abstract away from the service right here. So Scott Hall, New York Scott. So, and we'll get into that in detail. I'm trying to show, and Scott, you'll appreciate this as a rep. I'm trying to show the model, right? You have to be consistent in what you're doing. And when you land a med spa client and you're going to use
let's say you're doing the same fulfillment strategy for each one, right? Let's say we've gotten two or three strategies that really connect with med spas. And when you meet with that with that med spa, and that may be on the phone or via email, it doesn't matter. When you meet with them, they're going to gravitate. You may recommend X and you're giving them a couple choices, but they may really want to buy Y from you, right? The other choice. And that's the beauty of, we're going to identify exactly what they want to buy. And you know how we're going to do it? It isn't guessing. We're going to talk to somebody that owns a med spa. Funny enough, how do you think that might help you? Do you think talking to the owner of a med spa could help connect you with other med spas? Yes. Yeah, I don't want to tell all the secrets on the call right now, but I promise you, what works for a med spa is different than what works for a cosmetic surgeon. I think you guys could believe. All right. Nope. Thanks, Tom Garner. Yeah, Clark, you're good. Clark D. No, Bhupinder, you'll be fine. I like that one too much. Plus, I already have it all done. So, absolutely. What I want to do is, and I'm going to break it out on the replay email for you guys. I'm going to show you, somebody just said, what if I only want to buy one? I'll have to see how to do that because of the model, but I'm not opposed. I just got to see how I can do that from a structural standpoint. So I'll get back to you on that. What if somebody asks another question? What if I don't know how to fulfill? Honestly, I think most of you know how to fulfill in some area, but the question is, does that connect with the niche? And in many cases, it seems like it hasn't connected. It really just hasn't connected. And so we're going to help correct those mistakes. Because, let's say you're selling SEO to somebody, to a realtor, it doesn't usually work. Doesn't mean you can't sell SEO to a realtor. It just means typically that's not what they want right out of the gate. Now, maybe when you've had them as a client for a while, there's a natural upsell, of course. But I don't see that as the right product for a realtor right out of the gate. Yeah, funny enough, Francisco, I keep doubling down on cannabis stocks. Now that Aurora Canadian stock got so low, I had to pick up some more. Francisco said, all joking aside, we really do need to talk about cannabis. Absolutely. I'm not opposed. I'll have to get some experts on it because I will admit, I know that you know a lot more about it than I do, but I have a friend that owns a Vegas dispensary, so I can maybe pull a string. Not a client, but a friend. Let's see. All right. Vanessa said she's texting me some questions from people. All right. Welcome, Patrick, as well. Both Johns, thank you, and David. David R. Oh, a lot of Davids today. Let's see. All right. So let's do it. Yeah. So Francis says, so I should not provide services to both the spa and an auto shop. Francis, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I mean, I've done stuff like that. I just think if you find that you haven't landed a bunch of clients at this point, you got to ask yourself, would you be a better served really dialing it in, really focusing? I would argue the answer is yes. Now, one of the challenges, like if you had really different kinds of businesses as clients, one of the challenges is that there are different fulfillment strategies. What may work for one may not work for another. Actually, having a few pothead consumers on the call, David, would be kind of useful. David knows a lot of potheads. He's just being a wisecracker, but there's some validity to that for sure. Mike said, listen, my knowledge of cannabis is as a consumer only. I love it. Darcy has a friend who owns a CBD company in Vegas. See, look at this. Wow. Doug Starks may take the cake. I know that Illinois recently legalized marijuana. Doug said, I know a guy who stood in line for 10 hours to get pot last week when Illinois went legal. Think about that, you guys. Dr. Walker, my nephew and I own a dispensary. See, look at that. I had no idea. I did not know that. That's super cool. Let's see. All right, I put the link back up. Hey, I didn't make that up about David. He wrote it, Darcy. And that's Perkins, by the way. All right. In Illinois, they actually made 10.1 million sales. Is that revenue or individual sales the first week, Francisco? I'm curious. Yeah, Rick Giles, you're fine. Don't worry about it. You're good. Patrick said, I live in Amsterdam, guys. We know cannabis. Let me know what you need to know. That's awesome. All right. Let's see. Gil said, I'm interested in the legal side of advertising for CBD. Yeah, I'd have to find that out, Gil. I bet it. Obviously, there's the federal issue, but then most of that's being handled at the state level. So 10 million in revenue in money sales. Crazy. 3.2 million in the first 24 hours in Illinois. Wow. Joyce from Jamaica. She said, we know pot too. Yeah, look at it. At 420, all the comments came out of the woodwork. Now, I don't know what's going on this call, you guys. That's hilarious. Excellent. All right. I'm going to take any last questions, and I'm going to save what's left of my voice. I'll shoot you guys a replay out, and we'll kind of drive it on from there. Let's see. 10 million since January 1st. Francis said dispensaries are now legal in Canada. Very limited numbers licensed in Ottawa. Do they really need? It's a good question. Do they really need social media visibility? You know, Francis, I would say that strike now while the time. I don't have any Canadian pot clients, but strike now while the time is hot. Right? Strike now while the time is hot. 1, 2. This is a prime example on the disconnect that happens. The Canadian dispensaries definitely need some marketing help, but the question is, what's the right marketing for them? Do you think they'd be really, really useful to build a retargeting list, to build an email list, and to design campaigns that maybe they would market to their base to keep them coming back over and over again? Probably more useful, but I would also grab that social media presence early for sure. Yep. Welcome, Thomas Garner and George Cunningham. Hey, George, welcome. George Cunningham. Been a while. Yeah, Steve Webb. Let me take that one offline with Vanessa. I see yours, Steve. Yowza, man, Yeah, so when we talk about insurance, it's a good question from Douglas. We're going to get into each of the sub niches as well. What I mean by that is property and casualty, right? What does that mean? I mean, like your homes and your cars, right? Is different than life insurance. And we're going to hit those. We're going to hit them all inside of the same module. And I think it's important. Douglas, weren't you in insurance? I could have sworn that when we met you were. I may be wrong. Sometimes I just forget things. But Darcy said, I should have said that cannabis niche is smoking. Apparently, we're now doing the cannabis niche, you guys. So it's not on the slides, but Vanessa's going to add it to the sales page. And I'm going to have to count on Francisco and Darcy for a little support on that one. No, Joy, welcome. No, for sure. So Darcy said cannabis and CBD compete with each other. Huh. I did not know that. Yep. Douglas said I'm in P&C. Okay, good. I'm not a complete. I know when we sat outside the room last year, I could have sworn it was insurance. Doug said he should have sold snacks to people waiting in line for the pot. Mike McMillan said for you, Francis, British Columbia is the same. Very few dispensaries. Biggest pain is security. See, these are the kind of things that you really got to kind of dial in. The companies that deliver cannabis do the most advertising. See, look, we're already uncovering some details about cannabis right now from those of you that are experts. Paul says it, guys, it doesn't matter if there aren't many dispensaries. Many people don't know they exist yet. They really need that presence, whether it's search, social media, whether it's building a list, so that they can kind of get in front, stay in front, get known to clients, right? I love it. Yep. Dr. Walker said we also do edibles, oils, etc. Welcome, Jesse. Let me come back to yours in a second, Jesse M. Dispensaries compete with each other. Yeah, I see them as competitors for sure. Just like two restaurants may compete, right? So, life, health, Medicare, long-term care. Joy said, my background's in insurance and finance. That's probably a niche that I should focus on. I would tend to agree with you, Joy. With experience in that area, you're going to find you're able to connect at a level maybe you couldn't do with auto repair, right? Oh, I see. Darcy's point was the dispensaries definitely need help because they're competing against each other. Now, the Canadians are saying there's just not that many dispensaries like there is in, say, Vegas. It doesn't matter. Now's your time to strike. Imagine this. I can give you guys a time machine. We can go back to 1994. How many of you would buy a lot of domains that would be worth a lot of money today? Think about it. Business.com. What else? I mean, I'm going to stay away from the adult sites, but think about some of the insurance.com, right? Think about that. If you could go back in time. Right now, these dispensaries have a chance to be first because it won't always be 2 or 3 in Canada. They really have a chance to entrench themselves for the long term. Yep, banking and processing in the U.S. is a big issue with cannabis dispensaries. Marcel kind of hit on it. Weed.com. There we go. I knew we'd get a good one, Steve. It's all about customer retention. Darcy's spot on. Think about this, you guys. It's all about customer retention for dispensaries. Yes. There's sub niches in that market as well. Doug just said there are going to be more and more dispensaries added each month in states where it's legal. It's only going to get bigger. I completely agree. Yeah. Hey, I built a pretty good scrape of weed maps. I'll update it in a few weeks. Yeah, Francisco. No, we are not Francisco. This time this was Francis. Yeah, we welcome you for sure. How do we market domains to weed dudes? I think we can talk about that for sure. Yeah, banking is always going to be an issue. David Perkins kind of hit on it. Until it gets legal in the United States at a federal level, you're going to find that the whole payment issue is always going to be a problem. So if you're able to kind of match them up to a couple niche providers from a payment processing standpoint, you're always going to have somebody that's going to lend an ear, so to speak. No, that's perfect, Darce. Yeah, I'm going to hit you up on that. All right. Well, so what we're going to do, and we welcome you to be a part of this. This is truly about expert status. So each month we're going to focus on niches, one or more niches. We'll probably do an open call as well that'll be more all niches, because I know sometimes you're going to want to talk about things that are, how do I say it, immediate need to you, and we'll do that as well. So even if it's not one of the 12 niches, I'm pretty confident, if not me, one of the team, we can dive into it with you and help you. The goal, though, is to kind of get past this challenge that you're having. And the challenge is you don't get any clients. Just be honest with yourself. Why are you not getting checks? Why? What are you doing wrong? you're buying good stuff. Most of you tend to stay away from the bad products and buy the good ones. I believe you. I think most of you want to win. I think that there's a gap in a lot of products that leaves out what I really see as a requirement. I started looking and I was honest with myself and I said, having that expert level knowledge that, and I use expert, expert as a marketer doesn't mean I'm an expert cosmetic surgeon by any means, but knowing what they need, so crucial. Being able to reach out past experience in that niche, I think that is half the battle for so many of you. You just don't know what to say or what to sell. Very true. Yep. Welcome, Patrick, for sure. Yeah, political. We do a lot of political. Happy to do that. Let's see. Lawyers will be the same as insurance. Who is it? Was that Douglas or lawyer? We're gonna hit. I think we'll have we'll probably have one or two lawyer guests. I've got a few different ones. I just got to see which ones bite. I've got PI. I've got criminal defense. I've got a divorce and a bankruptcy attorney and a general business attorney. I'll just see who's willing to do it. The business attorney's in my building, so it's a pretty easy one to get them. But I'll figure that out because we'll take lawyers apart from the standpoint of the specialties, and we'll kind of show you that what works for a PI lawyer doesn't work for a bankruptcy lawyer. I don't know how many people are recommending bankruptcy lawyers on their social media, but usually they keep that stuff private, right? So it's always a little bit different. Yep, it is. It's about the confidence. All right. I'm getting all these texts. Okay, cool. Yeah, the politicians is pretty easy to do for me. I have to decide if I want to run for election again in March. Matter of fact, y'all appreciate this. I just got a mean letter because I didn't turn in my campaign, what do you call it? My campaign finance report. I'm probably gonna get fined $100 or something like that. It's the worst. I just completely forgot about it. Let me see. What did the guy? December 30th, I got this email. Now, I wasn't looking at my emails on December 30th. Honorable Mr. Anderson, that's very kind of him. Please see the following email regarding the need to file a new campaign contribution disclosure report. Now, I hadn't got any campaign contributions in a couple of years, but I got to fill out this form, of which I don't seem to remember, right? And the guy goes in to tell me what happens if I don't do it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, there's all kind of issues on the political side, lots of issues. Politicians definitely have a lot to deal with. Yeah, Tim, I don't know, man. I think I might call it a day. I can't say some of these ones out loud. You guys are cracking me up. It's interesting. I've had 3 or 4 Republicans and Democrats both take plugs at the other side. There you go, right? So, Pat, that's funny. I should have tried that one. Let's see. Yeah, politicians definitely tie in with cannabis. I heard that the governor or the vice or the what am I forgetting right now? The assistant governor. Help me out. What's the governor? What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, I didn't get any Russian money, y'all. I got none apparently. Lieutenant governor. Thanks, Tim. Lieutenant governor, I think in Illinois was like number 1 or 2 in line. I thought it was hilarious. They really should just legalize this. It doesn't matter what you or I think. Like if I'm against it, who am I to say that it shouldn't be legal, right? How is it that different than alcohol? I just think it's comical that some states have it legal, others don't, and the feds have it illegal. Give me a break. I mean, this is one of those things that just needs to get dealt with and put behind us. I love seeing the far right Republicans some of the far right Republicans that are starting to support it, because I know when I see that happen, I know it's only a matter of time once you get both sides kind of agreeing on that thing. Yeah, and then the issue, I won't get into it, but I do understand the gateway issue and stuff like that. I was thinking at it from a tax standpoint. The taxes could really do a lot for, for somebody someday to figure out this healthcare thing for us all. So Darcy said, I'm pro legalization. It's really just good to know what you're getting. I think that's very, very true. So for everybody here, we welcome you. Welcome, Darcy. We welcome everybody that are coming on board. And what I'd like to do is wrap this up. We'll get a replay out. We kept it kind of low key. I hope that was okay. This is the goal here is to keep it really chill. The goal is to pass on the knowledge and make sure you guys have what it takes to turn the corner. If what you're doing isn't working, I'll leave you with this. Maybe you should try something different. At the end of the day, if what you're doing isn't really working, and in many cases, it's not the product. I had a lot of people ask me that, and they would name this product and that. It's the strategy to get clients that needs to shift. Or maybe it's the strategy combined with some verbiage. It's very important. And that flows into your proposals. It flows into everything you do. So I appreciate everybody. There's a lot of you that jumped on board. A lot of you that just hung out, which was awesome too. I hope everybody has a fabulous, this is second week of the year, really getting 2020 off to a good start. And I look forward to seeing you guys on not only these calls, but other calls. So thank you for being here, and we will see you. Oh, I love it on the questions. We will see you guys very soon. Thank you very much. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Okay. Bye.